What is up, everybody? Welcome to DFS by the Numbers. This is my main event prediction for UFC Atlantic City. We got Erin Blanchfield going against Manon Fiorot. And yeah, really looking forward to this fight. Really looking forward to this card. We have, I think, 14 fights here for UFC Atlantic City. We are finally out of the Apex after being there for 2 cards in a row. And I'm really looking forward to it. This is a main event that I hate. I hate this main event, and I hate it because I have to pick one of these fighters to lose. And I'm a big fan of both of these fighters. Always been a big fan of Erin Blanchfield, Manon Fiorot as well. It's an interesting fight. It's a very interesting fight. Can't wait to break it down. Before we get into it, if you guys could please do me a favor, leave a like on the video, subscribe here to the channel, be on the lookout for more content throughout the week. I'll be getting out my full card breakdown and prediction video early on Monday, all 14 fights taped and researched, just not to record. But yeah, talking about this Blanchfield-Fiorot fight, and I say we get into it. We'll start with Blanchfield, who is 24 years old, 5'4", with a 68-inch reach, 12-1, and 5-0 in her last 5 fights. Manon Fiorot, she is 34 years old, 5'7", with a 66-inch reach, 11-1, and 5-0 in her last 5 fights. We'll take a look at the odds here. It opened up a straight pick on -110 each way. Money has came in on Blanchfield, and I expect money to continue to come in on Blanchfield. She is currently a -150 favorite, and we have Manon Fiorot, who is a +130 underdog. So yeah, like I said, I'm a big fan of both these fighters. I think they're both great. I always said that, I think both these fighters could be, potential champions. Erin Blanchfield has looked incredible thus far in the UFC, making her debut against Sarah Alpar, just beating the brakes off her across 15 minutes. The way she beat Miranda Maverick was extremely impressive because at the time, and I still am, somewhat high on Miranda, she went out there and dominated Miranda Maverick. She submitted J.J. Aldrich, Molly McCann, and Jessica Andrade. That was a big win. And then she had her toughest test to date against Taila Santos, and passed with flying colors as well. It was an absolute dogfight, and she ended up winning that fight by decision. So Blanchfield's had a very good run, as has Manon Fiorot. Manon Fiorot as well, undefeated in the UFC, made her debut against poor Victoria Leonardo, knocked out the Baby Shark Tabitha Ricci, and then wins over Mara Bueno Silva, Jennifer Maia, Caitlin Chukagian, and then Rose Namajunas her last time out. So yeah, I think it's a very good fight here. We have pretty much a striker versus grappler matchup, I'd say. Not saying Blanchfield can't strike, because she absolutely can, but I think Fiorot is going to be the better striker. And not saying Fiorot can't grapple, because she can. I just think Blanchfield's going to be the better grappler in this matchup. So, I think it's going to be Blanchfield trying to push this fight against the cage, trying to drag this fight down to the mat, where it's going to be Fiorot who's going to try to stay at range, stay at distance, and try to get the better of the striking exchanges. One thing to note about Fiorot is her takedown defense is very good. I think she's very tough to take down. Thus far in the UFC, she does have a 91% takedown defense. The one time she was taken down was against Jennifer Maia, and I would barely count that as a takedown, to be honest. Maia was able to get her down for a split second, but Fiorot was able to work right back up. But that was really it. Other than that, nobody's been able to take down Manon Fiorot. She's shown incredible takedown defense thus far, defending multiple takedowns against Leonardo, Tabitha Ricci, a lot against Jennifer Maia, so on and so forth. But this is going to be probably her toughest test in that aspect, and we're going to see her takedown defense tested, and probably her ground game tested as well. Blanchfield, like I said, in that last fight against Taila Santos, it was a little bit iffy early on. Taila Santos was landing some big shots on Blanchfield, but Blanchfield just kept coming forward, kept pressuring the whole time, kept pushing Santos against the cage, and although she was unsuccessful in every single takedown attempt she attempted, she was 0 for 14, she was still able to, just control Santos against the cage. It looked like she was kind of breaking Santos in a way, and then ultimately she won that fight by decision. So honestly, like I said, I hate this fight because I got to pick against one of these fighters, and I really don't want to do that. And I think it's a close fight. They opened up the fight as a -110 pick'em, and I think that's accurate. If this was a 3-round fight, I'd be a lot more confident in my pick. But I think I'm more so leaning the dog here and Manon Fiorot. I love her takedown defense. I think she's the better striker. And Erin Blanchfield, she's an incredible grappler, BJJ black belt, but her wrestling isn't the best. It just isn't. She was 0 for 14 on takedown attempts against Taila Santos, And more concerning, she was 0 for 4 on takedown attempts against JJ Aldrich. And I have a feeling she's going to struggle mightily in terms of getting this fight down to the mat. And like I said, on the feet, I think it's going to be in favor of Manon Fiorot. What worries me, though, and where I think Blanchfield could have success, is just being a dog, just coming forward the entire time, eating shots, pressuring, and then maybe breaking Fiorot down the stretch, maybe taking over down the stretch. And I think that's very much on the table. And that's kind of how I see it playing out. I think Manon Fiorot is going to win a lot of these early exchanges, these early rounds, but I kind of see Blanchfield potentially pulling away as the fight goes on and winning those later rounds. So I think this fight does go the distance. I think it's very close. I know a lot of people don't agree with that because there is money just pouring in on Erin Blanchfield, but I think she's going to struggle here, at least early on. I think she's going to really struggle to get this fight down to the ground. Like, Manon Fiorot has incredible takedown defense thus far. And on top of that, like, Fiorot is a really good grappler as well. She has very underrated grappling. I wouldn't even be shocked if it was actually Fiorot getting some takedowns in this matchup. She's gotten a takedown in every single one of her fights outside of the Rose fighter last time. So, Manon can get takedowns here. Manon's a good grappler. It's just, Blanchfield obviously is the better grappler in this matchup. In terms of a betting perspective, it looks like I just refreshed the odds. Blanchfield's now minus 160. I'm curious to see how wide this line does get, because, in my opinion, it is a very, very close fight here, and you can make a case for either side. But, yeah, money's pouring in on Blanchfield. They set the over-under at 4.5 rounds. The over 4.5 is minus 115. The under 4.5 is minus 115 as well. So I think this fight does go the distance, and I think if there's a finish in this fight, I actually think it comes from the Blanchfield side. I would be kind of surprised if Manon was able to finish Blanchfield, to be honest. So I'm kind of leaning Manon Fiorot, leaning Manon Fiorot by decision. But this might just be one fight I sit back and watch, because like I said, I like both these fighters a ton. But I mean, plus 140 for Fiorot is getting a little tempting, to be honest, for a fight that I see playing out fairly close. I just wish if it was 3 rounds, I would be betting that. It's just the 5-round nature of things kind of worries me down the stretch, because I do think that Blanchfield might be able to pull away in those later rounds, which we'll have to see. We haven't seen either Blanchfield or Fiorot in a 5-round fight, so it's going to be both their first time in a 5-round fight, at least in the UFC. So, yeah, interesting fight, but I'm definitely leaning the dog or pass side. But it might just be one fight where I just sit back and watch, enjoy as a fan, enjoy and seeing which one of these two come out on top. And I think one of these two are going to be future champions. And even if Blanchfield does not win this fight, like, she's 24 years old. She's 10 years younger than Fiorot. If she doesn't win this fight, she'll be all right. Whereas if Manon loses this fight, it's a little bit trickier because she is getting up there in age at this point, 34 years old. So, yeah, I think whoever wins this fight is probably getting a title shot next. And to be honest, I would probably pick both of these fighters against either Valentino or Grasso at this point. That's how high I am on both Fiorot and Blanchfield. So yeah, give me Manon Fiorot. Not a ton of confidence, though, but I will, as far as a pick goes, because I have to pick one. I'm going to pick Manon Fiorot for the win. There you guys have it. Let me know down in the comments what you guys like. I'm assuming a lot of people are going to be on the Blanchfield side. Let me know what you like from a betting perspective. Not much is sticking out. Like, I don't really want to mess around with any props. I don't want to mess around with any totals. Because I could see this fight playing out a bunch of different ways. So I'm probably going to be staying away from this fight. But if there's something you guys like, let me know. Maybe there's a prop sticking out that you guys are looking forward to. Maybe Blanchfield late props could be interesting, but I doubt I get there. So yeah, should be a very fun fight, though. Yeah, guys, best of luck for UFC Atlantic City. I think this card's phenomenal. I think we have a really good main event. The last couple main events have been a little rough, but I would be shocked if this main event kind of sucked. I think this main event's very good. 2 fighters that a lot of people are very excited about, and I think whoever wins this fight, there's already hype on both these fighters. Whoever wins this fight is going to get a ton more hype as well, so I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, be on the lookout for the full card breakdown and prediction video. That'll be out on Monday morning. And then, as always, I'll be getting up my regular content, DraftKings. I'll be doing a prize picks video this week as well. And then my final thoughts video Friday. And then also a best bet live stream on Saturday. So subscribe. Stop miss out on that. Do me a favor, like on your way out. And best of luck for UFC Atlantic City, Erin Blanchfield versus Manon Fiorot. See you later.